Hello everyone, welcome to the club. Thank you for coming to today's stream. I feel like I'm sitting a little weird today, so I might have to adjust this. My webcam never actually stays in place, no matter what I do. Because like I don't want to tape it down, because that's the whole point of it having like the nice stand and all. And I like being able to adjust it a little bit. It's just like it never stays where like the part that would not be taped down is the part that's always moving around. Anyway, welcome everyone to my look for the day. Fly away on the wings of my Gyadu lashes. Oh my god. I can't say words. I really struggle to, like, I don't know if you've noticed, because there's a reason I rarely, like, speak Japanese on this channel if I can avoid it, because like I really struggle like switching back and forth between the types of pronunciation. So sometimes it's like every time I say a word, it's like I have a choice. Do I purposefully pronounce this the way that like the Americans do and like it's not correct, but then it's like when I switch back to English, my sentence continues to flow. And then the other option is that I can say it the correct way, and then what comes out of my mouth after in English may or may not be like English pronunciation. Yeah, I have a hard time. I was like, I can't. But anyway, so sorry. This is why I just say gal a lot of the time. I'm still, like, embarrassed by that. Anyway. So I was gonna finally actually read the photon burst announcement. But then I forgot, like, to pull it up before I got in game, but I have it on here on my phone. But yeah, as everybody knows, we are getting the best thing ever, right? Anyway. Yeah, we're getting the only Elite Force weapon that matters. I'm just kidding. I will say though, I play with a group, like, somewhat regularly. Not really. It's kind of just like whenever someone in the server is like, hey, wanna hop on? Basically we somehow got an online server running. I don't know how the person did it. I am not that person, right? So we got this online server running, and I've been playing Hollow Match recently with people, and I will say most of my kills, I would say, are either the photon burst, the compression rifle if I'm really good that day, and I've taken my meds. And the third one is the pulse disruptor, which honestly I would say I think the pulse disruptor and the arc welder are like arguably better weapons, but I do think like the photon burst has potential, kind of like the compression rifle. Like, if you can shoot somewhat accurately, more so with the compression rifle than the photon burst, but like, you have to be quick, because if somebody's got like another weapon that's like has more of a longer fire and has a little bit more flexibility of like not having to hit right on the target, like they can get you first very easily in Hollow Match. I just think it's funny. But I pretty much never win Hollow Match, because one of the people who plays is like extremely accurate, and I think just plays a lot more games than I do, so it's like, it's kind of terrifying. But I have gotten him a solid few times. It's just that like overall the kill count is more, because we play like with the few like of the NPCs too. Oh no, I wish I could do that for like a stream, but again, I have no idea how this server was set up, and I have been meaning to ask, but there's just been other things going on in people's lives. People have been busy with life things. But yeah, I got so excited for First Contact Day, and then I realized the event doesn't even start yet, and I was like, oh, okay. Sad. But we did Do you kill Neelix in the Hollow Match? If he's there, sometimes he's there. Now, granted, the server owner will sometimes just set the NPCs to whatever he feels like. So, I was gonna say, there was one. So, okay, so I play with a modded version now. It's not the same one I've played on stream usually. I have a different one now. And I've actually been trying to get it, because since I got my new monitor several months ago, I haven't streamed Hollow Match. So basically, this 4K monitor doesn't like to display this game well at all. For some reason, it forces it to stretch to the screen. So even when you open the game, it changes the resolution. It changes like the resolution it's registering to the monitor for some reason. So even if you put it in like 1000 by whatever, which is smaller than the monitor, it blows it up so it covers like half the monitor and you only see this corner of the menu. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I don't know how to fix it. So I have to play in windowed mode, but then OBS doesn't recognize it as a game, so I have to fix that so I can try to get an actual like OBS input of it, because I can't do screen capture because it's ugly as hell to screen capture windowed mode. I have to capture the window, and again, that's like a toss-up. Yeah, I can't play in full screen unless I want to play with it like really distorted, for some reason. And that is like an option, but like it will stretch to fit the widescreen. I'm like, well, it never used to do this. It used to be a square in the middle, normal resolution, worked. Like you could put it, I don't remember the exact one, but it's like you could put it, I've tried every resolution at this point, and all of them seem to fuck it up for some reason. For some reason. I don't know. And that's like, I seem to be the only one with this problem as well. And I also seem to be the only one who can't switch windows while in Elite Force. Everyone else uses Alt-Tab and it just switches to the other window. No, it doesn't do that. It doesn't do that. Yeah, it does it with both the base game and with Hollow Match, for some reason. Because I really prefer full screen, even if there's black bars on the side. I actually prefer the shape that the game was meant to be with the black bars on the side, other than it trying to make it widescreen for some reason. Like, I don't understand. But yeah, the mod that we have, a lot of it is original series, but there's a few like bonuses in there that are not original series, so I don't know if it's like a combination of more than one mod or what. Like, I don't know what's been done to it. I was just given it. I didn't get it from anywhere. My friend had it and was like, here you go, here's your mods, and I just put them on and started playing the modded version instead of the one that I have. But yeah, basically the story I was gonna tell is I like to play as McCoy, right? He is my favorite. I actually put this, I'm working on making a new like Twitch video intro, and I just haven't edited it yet, but I filmed it the other day, and I literally said, I was like, you know what, I'm now just gonna introduce myself as your resident like Dr. McCoy enjoyer, because I think everyone at this point like knows by now. Like, I think that's been the most consistent like to the point where like I'm so embarrassed by the fact that I thirst over this man, I don't even talk about it online type thing, and then like I get shit for it somewhere. Like somewhere, somehow. Oh, hydrate. Thanks, I guess. But no, so I was playing as... Now, I should also preface this. I love my friends, right? But, we know that I have a certain sense of humor. Not all of my friends share that same sense of humor. I also swear a lot when I play games. Some of the people I play with are not swearing types. And it's not like, they've never made me feel bad about it. That's what I'm saying, is like, I have to preface this by like, I love my friends. But, like, yeah. So, so I try to tone it down just a little bit when I'm on the voice chat. But basically, I mean, honestly, like, like, okay, I have to say, like, Janelle Sky is not a self-insert, because if she was, like, I'm pretty sure everyone, like, rightfully so, would be way more concerned for me, like, because she's so screwed up. Like, I wrote her, there's elements of myself in her, but I wrote her largely as, like, I don't know, to be, like, something that's deliberately, like, you know, what if, you know, things had gone differently in my life, and, like, I could have turned out like this, likely not, but I could have. But it's like, she's not, I don't consider her a direct reflection of myself, because, like, I have to separate myself or I can't write her well, just because, like, she's so nuts. Like, she does stuff and I, like, get, like, I will write something she does and then I'll, like, sit there and I'll be like, I'm getting, like, secondhand embarrassment from this, you know? Like, she's just, like, one of those, but that's why she's so fun, is because she does stuff, like, I would never in a million years do, right? So, basically, the one thing I will admit to, though, is the whole Dr. McCoy thing is, it's very much written for her in a way that is for her. Like, that is not the way, like, that's not the way that I would personally thirst for Dr. McCoy, but, that's, like, my one thing where I'm like, look, no, that is 100% like a Jazzy moment. Like, Jazzy's living vicariously through Janelle Sky right now. But also, like, again, it's like, I also kind of feel bad for McCoy being subjected to her ass. Like, because McCoy's, like, you know, trying really hard to be, like, a gentleman and everything, and this lady just comes up to him and is like, you know, the way she is, she's making him a fucking, like, spicy bourbon cake. God. Oh my god, I forgot to say what the guy did, though. Okay, so when we were making the server, I was playing as McCoy, and I had been playing as McCoy the entire time, because I was like, oh, I just got this mod, I gotta pick something. I've also played as the Gorn. The Gorn's another favorite. I've considered playing as, one of the, like, floating robots, because, honestly, like, with the floating robots, the hitbox is actually legit smaller, and it's kind of like you can be a little bit more elusive. But anyway, so this one round, these were all picked, and granted, my friend did not know how seriously I take my Dr. McCoy thirst. He didn't know, to be fair. But and I shouldn't even call it thirst. I should also just say, like, my love for Dr. McCoy. Like, he didn't know. He didn't know, in his defense. So he sets up this match where every NPC is a different version of McCoy, and I'm also playing as McCoy. And I'm literally over here, and I keep going into, it had all these, like, isolated rooms in it, and I kept, like, going into these rooms and just seeing, like, 3 Dr. McCoys surrounding me, and I was like, man, you can't do this to me right now. You don't understand. Like, no joke too, like, 10 minutes before this match, I had been writing the Sky and McCoy fanfic, and I was really into it, but I was like, okay, you know, no, I need to take a break. I'll go play with my friends for a while. But no, I had been writing that fanfic not even 10 minutes before we started playing. And so I was like, that entire match, I was just like, every time I got, like, surrounded by McCoys, I was like, they're not even, the textures are so, like, cursed, but I'm also, like, sitting there and I was like, huh, imagine if this was a very different kind of game. Imagine if this was happening. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, because it's first person, right? So I'm just sitting there, I'm like, huh. And, like, I also was like, the number of times that I had to kill McCoy was very sad for me. I kept trying to find a way to express this without saying outright to these, like, more, you know, not filthy humor people, trying to explain why I kept like I kept just sometimes I make noises and I cannot like stop when I'm like in like stress mode, and it wasn't like stress, but you know what I mean. So I kept like I would like not quite screaming, but I'd be like screaming when I walked into rooms, and they were like, literally, what is going on with you? And I'd just be like, no, a lot when I had to like kill 3 of them. And they're like, literally, what is going on? Like, because they're used to hearing from me, like, just like profanity constantly is what they're used to hearing on the other end of voice chat. This was different. And I was like, I don't know how to explain this without saying that if this was happening right now and there really was like 5 Dr. McCoys all in the same area, I can guarantee there would be no shooting involved except for hopefully a certain kind of shooting that we're not going to talk about on here because I don't want to get banned from Twitch. Oh my god. It was like, I'm sitting here, I'm like, you know what? That was the moment I realized I was like, I might need to get a life. It's like, I can't believe like I'm over here like thirsting over like 5 like boxy video game characters. Like, I'm a terrible person, I know. I watched For the World is Hollow and I Have Touched the Sky last night so I could feel something. I've also done absolutely nothing in STO since I got on here. Okay, well, I will say that those thirsters are interesting. I'm not gonna say anything on that. I don't want to offend anyone. But like, I do not get it, but have fun, y'all. I don't know. Yeah, I thought there was a new event. Oh, I guess there's Red Alert. Oh, I guess I'm not too late for Red Alert. Let's fucking go. Anyone want to do some Tholian Red Alert? Because we haven't had enough Tholians over the past month. Well, okay. Sucks to be you. It's fast, so I'm just gonna do it. It's fine. And I probably will hop over to Sky after this, for some lore discuss. Cause for those who have been following my saga, oh, this isn't even the one that I really need anything. I could max out my engineering at some point. I don't know. Oh, there is some. Yay. Oh wait, that's science. For those who have been following along on the Janelle Sky saga, which I don't know how many regulars we have in here right now, because some people are lurking, which is fine. But for those who have been following my saga with Janelle Sky, I will be continuing some of that today. Probably some story, just because, like, I don't know what else to do with myself. Like, it's always about, like, the event grind, I feel like, these days for me. Like, that's the only reason I log in every day. Or if I'm streaming, because, no! What is getting me right now? I don't know what that was hitting me. Anyway. But, the only other thing that motivates me to get on Star Trek Online is to talk about Janelle Sky lore to the followers. And I said, like, I was gonna maybe try to do, like, a music stream, but then, like, I started trying to work on, like, plucking out the melody from some of those, like, or constructing a melody in some cases from those, like, cringe old lyrics I found. Because I think it would be so funny to do that. And it's also like, I don't know if I'd even ever release the song, so it's kind of safe to put on here and like, I don't have to worry about anyone like stealing my idea, because it's like really unlikely you'd want to steal my cringy high school lyrics. But I also think like, it would just be so funny, but I'm also like, would it be boring as hell? I don't know, I can't decide. I posted some of them in my Discord server. Like, I recently recovered, for those who didn't see that, I recently recovered like all of my old phone notes from high school. Like, literally all of them. Actually, I should stay on this one and finish some endeavors. I'm gonna hop in a random. I might regret this. Probably gonna get a ground. But I don't know. This is the only way I think I'm gonna get the rest of that right now. With what was I saying? Okay, so with these lyrics, like I put like a whole bunch of songs that like I wrote, like this is like middle school through high school. Like it's not just high school. Actually, like the funnier ones are actually from middle school. And some of them are like weirdly like dark. That's why it's so funny. I'm just like literally like I don't remember what was even happening at the time. Like what? Like did I, and granted, like I was bullied in school. I'm not pretending like, oh no, I had nothing to be like dark about. Like I'm not saying that, but it's just like some of these like are not things that I remember writing, like because like some of them yes. Some of them it was like, yeah, like I see, like I had those feelings at the time, like I see where that came from. But some of these it's like I don't think these came from like legitimately like feeling this. Like I don't know where they came from. Like I don't remember writing most of them. Cause
penetrated to the heart
no.
of your matrix. Disconnected floor. I'm reading high.
Well. You know what? This calls for a pink Power Ranger. Let's go. Power Rangers. I don't know if there's like a Power Rangers song or something. I want to do a Power Rangers like TFO so bad. Hey, where are you going? Where are you going? Where the fuck you going? He really just left. Mighty Morphin thing. You see, I know Power Rangers and I've watched Power Rangers, but I was never like really into it. Like, I just like suits. I'm scared. This one scares me.
Sweep this room quickly and you'll catch the Borg off guard. Seize the advantage.
Oh, I can't shoot them over there. Oh god. I'm not even shooting at anything. What the hell? I forgot I had this weapon on, but I suppose it is what it is. That begs the question. Oh, there's my remodulator. It's like that. Where is my remodulation thing? Huh? Damn it. That was my bad. Guess he wasn't paying attention. Oh no. Oh my god. Oh my god. Fuck off right now. God damn it. Take them all out with the long beam. Well, see, I love this beam, but the beam's a little too long sometimes. Oh, shit. Well, I remember one time, I think I tried to, like, hop over this thing, and, like, that obviously didn't work, and I died. Anyway, as I was saying, though, like, I've honestly been, like, so busy with, like, stuff I've been working on, like, my music and, like, gig work and everything. I just, like, my motivation for Star Trek Online is, like, to like, advance my, like, alts, except for Sky. Like, it has been so low, like, motivation-wise. But, I just really, like... Oh, shit. I just really, like, need to stay on the event grind, because, like, if I'm gonna get, like, I feel like I'm gonna be missing out so much if I miss another, like, event thing. So, And I also get really excited for first contact day. That's like I said, I was like, oh yay, first contact day, and I was like, wait a minute. That's why I didn't even put happy first contact day on this stream, because I was like, it is first contact day today. But like it's not like it is an STO, so I didn't want to be misleading.
Force field between a central plexus and collective core is down. Gather there for a mission update.
Oh, wrong way.
We are detecting an energy buildup in the area.
I just wanted to do my whole heal. That's all. Since we're showing off in here. Let me in. Oh. My hand's like, what is going on? Who are we missing? Are we missing someone? Is that why we don't have... Yeah, what's this person doing? Oh, 'cause I think he's not coming. Yo. Maybe, finally? Maybe he just got a little lost? Who knows? Like, no! What the hell? Y'all are seeing this, right? Literally, where? Oh, someone said, come on, Orion. I'm like, are you lost, fam? Like, I mean, I get lost all the time, but like, come on, there was an arrow. It looks like he's fighting something. Who the fuck is he fighting? Not that slumbers peacefully. What was that? What just happened? We are not defeating the Borg Queen in 17 minutes, apparently. So is a... Oh, save. You know what? Let's, like, all just... So I put my mic in a weird place. I'm at that point right now. What's going on? Like, I don't know. Do we need to, like, go rescue him? I'm like, I don't know. Oh, I'm in the wrong room. See, it's not even gonna let me go back and rescue him. So you know what, like, fucking. Let's go. Like, I wish there was a way to like summon someone. Like, but like at first there kept being abilities popping up, so I wondered like, oh, like, are they in combat maybe? But I don't think he's in combat. I think he's lost, but like we can't go do anything about it because now we're in the core. Like, and I'm not leaving and getting the cooldown penalty, so not the cooldown penalty, the leaving penalty. Well, that's one way to do it. Is your cat walking on the keyboard? Wow, when STO chat is actually hilarious for once. I mean, team chats usually aren't that bad. I wonder if they've got... Do they have, like, chat turned off or something? You know what? Finally, we sit around... Did it just teleport him here? Did the game say get your ass in here? There's no way he got here that fast. That's so funny.
The Borg are reacting to the virus upload. Reinforcements inbound.
And like, that's the thing, is I was like, look, well, because at first I was like, oh, maybe he's just lost, let's give him a bit. But then after a certain point, it's like, literally, like, where the hell are you? Like, you gotta see that the whole team, it's like, you know, if you actually read the briefings, which I know I don't, but it's because I played them before. Like, it does explain this to you, or at least tries to. Doing nothing but murder enemies in the center during phase 2 of guillotine. That too, again, I'm like, it's just a matter of like reading the instructions, you know? Like, and again, like, it's, if there's like one or two doing it, it's one thing, but it's like, I too have gone through entire runs of guillotine where like, I am what, like me and one other person will be like the only ones on the anchors. And then everyone else is in the middle. It is ridiculous. And the thing is, it's like, and a lot of the time too, it's like, it's not newer players, you know? And I'm not talking about this. I'm not gonna roast this Orion person, you know? But it just in general, like, I think a problem with like some of the TFOs is like that, like this will be like high DPS, obviously not new players, right? That will be like actively ignoring the instructions on a TFO, you know? Like the ones in the middle on guillotine. They're like, I was like, no, if you're like running a high DPS build, like you are not a newbie. There's no way, you know? And so like I tend to judge that a little bit harsher than like new people. Because like, you know, new people, it's like, you know, but it's also like, again, like, there we go. No, I went the wrong way. Okay, you know what? Now I'm lost. There we go. Like, see, it's gonna explain the queen to you. It like tells you, like, okay, you have to move on. You have to move on to the next phase. Like, oh god. Oh my god, he's there. He's not coming with us again. Oh, it's the next phase! You gotta move to the next phase! Alright, we gotta keep an eye on this guy. Be like, yeah, make sure you're with us. Oops. Probably I'm gonna send that and look stupid. Not the leash. Wait, what did I get? Oh. I guess there was a ground endeavor. Okay, not ground TFO wasn't all bad. It's fine. It's Borgy time.
Do you think you have wounded me?
Oh, can you skip it?
Separated me from my children?
No, I'm scared. I don't understand why you can skip some cutscenes in TFOs and then not others. I feel like they should either all be skippable or not be skippable. Oh shit. This is like the most like horrifying version of the Borg Queen. I think I've said that before. She's like genuinely terrified in this version. It's not like, oh, like it's not like when they did like the Voyager and Next Generation cruise Borg Queen, where they're kind of like, all right, we're gonna play her off as like super sexy a little bit, but in like a fucked up way, you know? No, this is straight up like, no, like any sexiness is very much overshadowed by the creepy factor. No, okay, bugs are 100% creepier. It's not a contest. I'm just saying in comparison to other versions of the Borg Queen, this one is scary as fuck. I don't know why you started using this plasma weapon, but I'm starting to have regrets about using the plasma weapon. God, not again. She really just hops down from her fucking creepy throne. Oh, I should bring out my ghosty. This like, whenever they make like a new Borg creation, I'm always like, what the fuck? But I mean, like I said, look, I'm not gonna hate on the elite tactical Gorn. Like, is it terrifying? Yes. But is it also kind of really cool? Yes. But like, I don't get like, this is cool for like in context of the game, but like, I'm sorry, Borg Gorn is way cooler than this bitch. Like, she's just, maybe it's like the things coming out of her head. It's like the It's like giving me tentacle vibes. Damn it! I rolled the wrong direction! No, tentacles are like the worst. Like, it's kind of like how for a long time I couldn't watch My Little Pony Friendship is Magic because I was like deeply traumatized by the things I saw on the internet. It is the exact same with tentacles, I am sorry to say. Anything that is like wiggly like that, I'm like, I want to throw up. I don't want to be here anymore. Damn, this guy got glitched out too, it looks like. I just saw that. No respawn for him, I guess.
You cannot defeat me. You
She's on fucking fire. And then this part, I hate this part. Like, why is she just a disembodied tentacle head?
The enemy is in a state of disarray.
Oh, thank God. It's finally over. Finally. That one's not the worst ground TFO. I should not complain too much about it, but like, there's just some of the ground TFOs like, because like, why? Why would you just wander in circles? Okay, I'm gonna do another. Like, I understand being lost, but that was like more than lost. Like, sorry if you are Orion and you happen to see the stream, I am sorry. Imagine the queen crawling through the Jeffries tube of Voyager like that. Oh yeah, no, there are so many horrific scenarios when you think about it. And like, the thing is, you gotta understand, when I see this bitch, I immediately think of all of them. Like, it's just how my brain is. So that's why I have, sorry, I keep bumping my desk. That's why I have a problem with her. Like, the one, cause like, honestly, when you had the little, like, the thing in First Contact where she, like, descends, especially given how, at the time, that was, like, a very complex, like, VFX shot that they did, right? So, I really liked that scene in First Contact, not because I liked it, but because I was like, oh, this is really cool, you know? Like, it's creepy, but it's cool. But, like, the fact that they took that, and I'm not even hating, I'm just like, it's so creepy. The fact that they took that and gave her, like, more tendrils, made her creepier in general and shit. I'm just like, nah, this is a horror movie now. Like, what the fuck? For real. Anyway, there's something weird going on with that TFO with a couple things, I guess. Neelix is bored, Queen Calamari. No. Get out of here. I also found this, Kinder chocolate bar on my desk, so I'm eating it. It's the last one of, like, a little set I had. It was just a tiny one. Alright, please be a space. Yo, I'm in another queue. I'm not gonna be here for long. Maybe. Maybe I'm going into a TFO. Why was that chocolate melty? It's not warm in here. Very suspicious.
Imperial Terran forces are attacking
God again?
Pavo into a telepathic weapon. We can't let that happen. The Terrans have set up their agonizer tech at crystal
I give up.
formations surrounding your position. Deal with them and use crystals infused with Pavo. Great. Stop the Terrans before they...
Okay, well, guess what? I didn't run Elite, so I don't have that problem. I was gonna say, I'm kind of surprised I didn't come out of that Borg TFO with an injury, because, everyone else had a bunch of injuries, so... Weird. Come on. Imagine Cryptic adds Corfez to all queues on every April 1st. No. I like what they do for April Fools now. They should stick to that and not do anything evil. Well, they're all beating me to it. The one thing I wish I would have done with these eyelashes is, trimmed the corners, like, because the inner corner lashes are just a little bit long for my preference. Like, I mean, obviously, like, they're long on the outside, and that was, like, intentional. But it's like, the inner corners, I always like to chop a little bit so that they don't poke me when I blink. But right now... Hey, I was just following everybody else. Where is everybody going? Oh, because we weren't following the path. Okay, my bad. I should have kept following the path. Anyway, but basically, I didn't trim these before I put them on because I was like, oh no, they look fine. They're just, like, long. Like, I've had ones like this before, and I might try to do it again before I go out, but I was trying to trim the inner corner, and, I was trying to, trim the corner, and somehow, like, kind of slipped with the scissors, and, like, I was like, oh, that could have been really bad if I slipped at the wrong time, trying to trim this thing right next to my eye. So... yeah, I was like, it's still poking me. But honestly, it's like, it's getting me, like, right, like, this one's not as long, and it's getting me right, like, in my nose, and it's like, I don't know, I'm gonna have to do something to it after this stream. Because, like I said, I was planning to go out on my outing tonight like this, so I was like, I gotta do something so I don't rip this off of my eye. Or, like, accidentally poke myself in the eye with it, because these are magnetic lashes, and I really, really like them. Like, I honestly, like, I'm gonna wear lashes more often now because I really like these. Now, not all the time. I could never be, like, a daily lash wearer. I feel like I'm gonna, like, fly away. You feel me? But, I just, like... I feel like now I can wear lashes a little bit more often, like when I want to have some fun, without as much stress, because these are so much better than the glue. And the big reason why I don't wear lashes is because so much of the glue, wait, that nearby crystal? No, the other nearby crystal. But anyway, so much of the glue will, like, irritate my skin so badly. And I found one that doesn't, but it, like, you have to put it on the lash strip, and it has to dry for, like, 2 minutes before it's tacky enough to put it on. And it stays really well, don't get me wrong, but it's like, you know, if I have to let the lash liner dry for 3 minutes, because I don't know, somebody was telling me, like, oh, I hate the magnetic lashes because you have to let the liner dry. I was like, you mean you don't have to do that with the glue on type? Like, what lash glue are you using? Because the only lash glue I know that has been quick drying and you can put it on quickly is one that literally burned my eyes with like the most menthol, disgusting sensation. And I used it, like, it sticks really well, don't get me wrong, but I used it all throughout my dance competition years, and after a certain point, my eyes really started to not appreciate that. So again, I switched to a different glue when I got out of competition dance and didn't have to wear lashes on stage as much. And then, like, when I started wearing them for cosplay, because for a while it was like, oh, you have to wear lashes with your cosplayer. You're not, like, a valid cosplayer, you know? But I just don't fucking care anymore. I'm like, you know what? Roast my cosplay. I dare you at this point. I will roast you right back, you know? Also, for me, like, depends on the character. Because, like, not every character I cosplay, I feel like, wears these kind of lashes. Like, if I'm... Damn it. Like, if I'm cosplaying, like, the trainer from fucking Pokemon, like, that's like a child. Like, you know, I like to do some lighter makeup. I actually really do like my trainer, my sword shield trainer cosplay. Like, it's probably my favorite ever. Oh, they're all back here. Of course they are. But like, yeah, there's like, and I feel like it was a bigger deal like a few years ago, because I feel like now we're kind of more on like the, we're kind of more heading to the like, we're heading more to like the, you know, respect each other in cosplay. Like, we're kind of trying to not put up with the shit anymore as a community, I feel like. It's not like... Okay. And this is why we have this. The Vaporeon copy pasta. Do I want to even know what this is? I don't think... I feel like maybe I don't, but I don't know what we're talking about. I know what is, like, fucked up about the Pokemon is the people who will make, like, the videos about, like... Now, okay, some of them are a little bit funny, but all the ones that will be, like, how I would eat this Pokemon, like, what the fuck? Leave them alone! I was like, even in universe, like, it is implied, like, they do eat Pokemon, but, like, not all of them. And two, like, the Slowpoke tails everybody likes to talk about, like, technically, like, it's still fucked up, don't get me wrong, but technically the Slowpoke tails are, like, they're like chopping, they, like, fall off, and they're, like, picking that up. They're not, like, chopping up the entire Slowpoke, you know? That's a different thing. I don't know, don't ask me much about this subject. There's a whole reason that I...
Deactivate the force fields.
I mean the nearby crystal. Must be this one, but what's the holdup, Crystal?
A placed crystal is under attack. Defend it.
Oh, because there wasn't a crystal cluster over here. There we go. That seems right. No, I heard about that, and I have chosen to remain ignorant of it for so long, and I would like to continue that. Thank you very much. Anyway, yeah, well, that's the thing is, it is implied they eat Magikarp, but, like, it's Magikarp. Like, what? Now, granted, I was like, don't don't talk to me on this subject, because I was like, I don't, like, I do eat seafood, but it's like, I don't eat most meat. So like, and it's not just because of, like a personal choice. It's because like my body doesn't handle it well. Especially red meat like wreaks havoc on my body. Like I get so sick, it hates me, etc. And just like textures with meat are really hard for me. Even like seafood, it has to be cooked really well, because like I'm from Oregon. Like I wanna eat like good seafood if I'm going to eat seafood. And like just, I don't know, some of the stuff that people like around here in Utah will say like, oh, it's the best seafood. I'm like, no. Like, I'm sorry, no seafood in Utah, like, even if it's flown in, I would not consider like Utah seafood like great or excellent. It's like passable at best. Like, it's edible and it's okay. The one exception is there's a British fish and chips place. Now, granted, most British food grosses me out. Don't get me wrong, but fish and chips, like, you know, those slap, right? But the fish and chips place has really good fish, but it's also like, that's one of the things that gets me is like fried fish is really hard to screw up. Now you can have, like, again, that like edible versus like excellent type thing. Like I think the fish from this place, it's up in Layton, Utah. It's by the place where they hold Anime Bonsai and SaltCon. But they have really good fish and chips. The owners are British and they really know what's up and everything. And they're, you know, like a small local business, so they're really great to support. But their fish and chips are so good. But like, and they're great, you know, like that's what I'm saying. But I just will say, like, that's like fried fish. Like they don't serve like other kinds of fish that are like harder to get right. And the thing is, like, I so many times have had, like, not this place, but so many other places in Utah screw up fried fish. I'm like, that is the most like pathetic thing to screw up, right? Like, I'm sorry, like you get it? Like, because the fried fish, because you have a little bit more flexibility, because like you can kind of cook away the frozenness of fish being frozen, because all fish in Utah is frozen, and a lot of sushi grade fish in general has to be flash frozen because of the way it is. So it's not, I'm not saying frozen is bad. I'm just saying, like, some of these places who don't have like a high turnover, like it's not just that it's frozen, it's that it's sitting in their freezer for a long ass time and it's not being used. And then like you wonder why it's bad. You want to know actually what is the most like repulsive place? Like the most repulsive place to eat is Red Lobster for seafood. Like, no. I think a place with a capital literally called Salt Lake City, they'd be better with salty food. I mean, that's part of the problem with Utah too. So much of the food here, like, even like local places. Now, I love a lot of local places and I do love to support them. But I will say that there are places that people will say, oh, they are so good. Okay, what's an example? Okay, not a local example, but something everybody raves about over here and like loves eating is Raising Cane's. Now, granted, I don't eat chicken, so I've not had the chicken, but I have eaten there. And like I don't know if it was just like the time, but like the I feel like the food was very salty. Like very salty. And Raising Cane's is only one example. There are a lot of places where the food is just wildly oversalted. Raising Cane's actually I don't even think was the worst offender. That's just one that I know like is a chain, so I was like, people might know this place. I don't want to badmouth any like small business like online, like, cause a lot of people really like stuff and people have different tastes, but like for me it's like I I don't want to eat something that salty. Like, if it's salty, I want it to be like an umami sort of flavor. You know, like, that's my thing too. I was like, you know, maybe be less afraid of MSG and like more afraid of just trying to make salt your only seasoning. Like, and Raising Cane's like had other seasonings. Like that wasn't the problem. It's just like it tasted really salty.
Terrence placed an agonizer
I don't
on
know.
one of the roofs.
I have also seen people like back before I stopped eating Chick-fil-A, like, because that was the thing. For a while, it's like there were not a lot of places to eat in Utah, and now it's like they're building up everything everywhere, so you have every option and you don't have that excuse anymore. So I used to eat Chick-fil-A. Like, I know they're not good. Obviously, I don't eat there anymore. But back in the day, like, I remember going to Chick-fil-A with some people and watching straight up. And now this was not people I talk to anymore. Like, this was way back, like high school days type thing. And I just remember we went to Chick-fil-A and I watched someone like dump, or maybe I don't know. This could have been early college. I really can't get my timeline straight at this point. I don't know, but at some point I was at Chick-fil-A with some people and literally watched someone take like the fries were for some reason really salty that day, and I remember like kind of like shaking each one, like, because I was like, could I get any of the salt off? Because like I think whoever did them like tossed them with a little bit too much salt, which happens, you know. But this person dumped salt on top of the fries that were already like a little bit oversalted from usual, and I just like, and I've seen it happen all the time. Like, I have a grandma who like salts everything, like everything, and doesn't do like any other seasonings. I don't know. It's like people here just, I know that Utah's not the only place with this problem, but it's like it's very much like the white people afraid of seasoning like stereotype.
My team and I will continue to observe.
It's literally just that, but like in the absolute worst form. Like the Mormons are horrible about it. Yeah, I'll be real. I don't actually know if my grandma even eats pepper. Now, okay, we know that I have some problems, right? I have allergies, I have issues, I have a lot of medical things, right? But the thing that gets me is like, so obviously like my grandma, who I'm descended from, has some allergies and stuff that are valid. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like she literally has like a repulsion to like so many other spices for some reason, and like I don't know, like especially because like my grandpa's not supposed to be having like salt really, because he had like some heart things I won't get into because like that's private family information, but it's like he's not supposed to be having a lot of salt, and then it's like, okay, so like get other seasonings. You don't need salt to season. Like, there are so many like heart healthy acceptable like seasonings, and they're not even ones like my grandma's allergic to, you know. There's so many options, but it's like, and around here they're really hard to find. Like, even if you go into like the like international foods section of some of our grocery stores, like there's more options than there used to be, but I would say the majority of the options are like East Asian flavors. If you want like, you know, curry spices and stuff, I still haven't been able to find like locally. Like, I have to go somewhere like up downtown, whatever city an hour away to get like spices for Indian curry. It's ridiculous. I'm like, you know, imagine if like, I don't know, I assume like if you ate that type of food more often, you could buy more in bulk. My family doesn't like Indian food. I just really like Indian food, so I don't know. I need to like get everything and make it like completely from scratch, like the full spread, and then see what they think. Because I think part of it is because some of the restaurants we've been to are not good. Which, you know, again, it's Utah. They can't all be winners. Yeah, it's like, that's the thing, is I honestly, and I really should be careful what I say online, but sometimes on here, like, I don't care anymore. I honestly don't think my grandma knows how to use Twitch. the seasoning thing, it's like I actually don't always 100% know what people are allergic to because I can't like I can't remember all of it. So otherwise it's like I would. And sometimes I do, like, I don't know, next time somebody says like you should bring something, I should make a little dish. But like, yeah. So not a ton of salt, like no more than like a pinch of salt, and everything else is like a real seasoning. But I don't know. I will say though, there are some people around here like who don't even use like salt and pepper. Like they for some reason think like healthy food has to be like completely bland. It's so fucked. It's so fucked up. They're like, no, if your chicken breast and rice tastes good, then you must like you're gonna like get fat. I don't know. It is fucking wild. I must emphasize, I hate it here, and I am very careful who I associate with, etc. because of this. Like local friends, I'm like, don't talk about that shit around me. I don't like to discuss it. I don't want to hear about what really bothers me too is people around here get really comfortable discussing like numbers in weight loss, and that's just something for me, like, because of my history, like I'm not comfortable with that for a variety of reasons. So it's like, you know, I try to set that boundary, and if they don't respect it, then it's like, that's not somebody I can have in my life, unfortunately. Which usually isn't a problem, because anyone who knows me usually, like, respects me. But, like, I meet a lot of people, and I don't have a lot of friends. And that's, like, not because, oh, people don't like me. There's a lot of people who don't like me. That's too damn bad for them. Like, can't please everyone, and I very much stick to that. Like, so... And people around here are also just really petty, like, I'm not gonna lie. But basically, oh, I don't want to do that. But basically with like people, and I was like, you know, and I understand like if you're on like you're like on your journey or whatever, but these are not people who like, you know, like I mean, technically nobody needs to lose weight if they don't want to. That's like a personal choice, right? But it's like these are not people who like are even overweight, like in what the healthcare field unfortunately considers overweight, when it's like not like they're not even like overweight at all. And they're like, oh, I gotta lose 10 pounds. I'm like, do you though? Because now you're just making the rest of us feel unsafe in the room, you know? Like, it's like, because it's like when you say that, it's like, okay, so you're already really skinny. What are you saying about me? Like, yeah, like, my personal rule is like, I try not to police anyone who is like, you know, I'm always like here to uplift people if like they need support, because I'm always like about like body positivity in its true form. Like, it is like, the true form is like, we should be uplifting everybody. You know, everybody deserves clothes that they fit in and they can wear. Like, so stupid. Like, I've full on argued with people like IRL, because like, and again, these are not people I know. These are people who come up to me and are starting a conversation, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, did you really think I was going to just sit here and take whatever the hell it is? And they'll bring up stuff like, they'll bring up shit like, oh yeah, I'm like losing all this weight, and and then they'll say something like fucking wild, like, oh yeah, I don't think that they should sell plus size workout clothes. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, and that's why I have to say, like, let's not, that's why I don't discuss it often on my channel, and I, like, hopefully, like, people, like, I don't want people to come in here and be like, because there's certain, like, diet fads and stuff that I find, like, I am a little sensitive to those topics, so... and a lot of it actually is like literally because of the area I live. Like, keto is really big here, and it's like, look, I'm not gonna be hating on people for going on keto if it is the right choice for them, but like, you know, if you're trying to tell people who like have told you they don't want to do keto, and you continue to say you must do keto. And again, it's like, it's this just massive fear. And it's funny because keto, like, keto, like, as a diet is not balanced. It's not eating things in moderation. It's a weird diet. Again, I'm not judging people who it works for them, but, like, we have to admit that's not gonna be universally good for everybody. Like, most people can't eat that amount of fat and be healthy. Teleportation the population to work out for having stomachs, but also cake. Yeah, no, exactly. That's my thing, is I was like, look, you want people to exercise, but you don't want to make the exercise clothes in bigger sizes. Like, what the fuck? Well, like, what message does that send? That literally just sends, like, you know, just don't. Like, and the thing is, it's like, movement is healthy for everyone, and I really emphasize that. Like, this is not, like, health is not about weight, but, like, it is a universal truth that, that it is healthy for people to be moving and exercising on, like, occasion, at least. And it's the thing where it's like, no matter what your size is, it's like, you can develop major issues from not being active enough. And, like, for myself, like, if I have to find a sweet spot for me. Now, granted, I do a lot of things that I should not be doing with my condition, but that's because my life's work is performing, and so, like, I feel like I kind of have to, like, it's an obligation. But at the same time, it's like, there is, like, a sweet spot for me that, like, as I get older, I will have to eventually try to find, where there's not too much activity and not enough activity, basically to keep my body functional to the point that it can be. Because it's like, I cannot spend an entire day being super lazy. Like, and I am very careful not to do that. Like, unless I am in extreme pain, I always try to get up and, like, walk around. And even if I'm just, like, pacing my house, that is still more movement than, that's still, like, more movement than, like, you know, more movement than I would get, you know, not doing anything or not thinking about it. Shields. We love shields. I didn't realize I had so many. Oh, we love shields. Yeah, we'll just make this little shields around. What's this? Cover shield. No, cover shield isn't very fun. Cover shield is fine, but not everyone needs it. They always come with it, and then they use it at inappropriate times. Okay, there we go. It looks like I'm close by, so I don't think I need to transwarp. Yeah. Anyway, sorry for my little bit of a heated rant. Is my eyelash? I feel like my eyelashes are, like, falling off. They're not. I just barely feel them. I just barely feel them because they're magnetic. Anyway, welcome to what's I never know what to say that. It's just funny to say. Anyway, welcome newcomer to the chat. I don't know if you've been lurking or not. We're playing my lower level tune right now. Oh, I forgot to team up with the... Anyone's welcome to join. If I'm a little bit slower through it, don't mind me. Oh my god, I haven't even touched on what happened last night. Oh my god, I got on so many rants today. This is what happened. I can't... Real talk, like, I'm on ADHD meds, right? And there's, like, a severe shortage, whatever else, so I don't take them. I can't take them every day, and while, like, some breaks are good, I think, like, my system has kind of been having, like, a shock at times, like, going on them for 3 days and, like, not being on them for 3 days, because, like, I don't want to completely run out. Oh yeah, the current raw material shortage that is affecting ADHD medication, it also affects a whole ton of other medications, including a lot of pain medications. So, like, it could absolutely be worse. Technically, I can live without my ADHD meds. It's just like, based on where I was at before I was on meds, it's a lot safer for me to be on meds, especially in terms of driving, because unfortunately, we don't have very good public transit in Utah, and for me personally, being a person, like, who is disabled, it's not really a safe option for me all the time, because, like, I don't, for example, like, I don't look like I should have to sit down. But if I stand up on a train, I can get seriously, seriously injured, and people do not believe me if I try to say that. Like, I would never, like, kick someone out of their seat, but, like, it's like, I've tried to be like, hey, can I, like, squeeze in next to you, even though there's not, like, a ton of space on the bench? I'll just be like, you know, gonna stay, I just want to squeeze here next to you, like, it's not very far to the stop that a bunch of people are gonna get off on, and then we don't have to be next to each other, and, like, people give me, like, the filthiest looks and, like, the most rude responses. I'm like, alright, well, like, when I fall over and, like, break something, that's on you. I don't know. And it's not like, it's not really on them. I'm kind of just joking, but it's like, it's also just like, I don't know, like, you know, being uncomfortable for like 2 seconds so that someone can be like safe. I don't know. But it's the same thing on here. It's like the number of times that I've been like full on like, why can I not turn in the stupid ship? All the times that like I've also been like harassed inside of Utah public transit as well, and literally like no one has done shit is also many. And it's like I'm like legitimately traumatized from like my college years taking public transit every single day. It's like, and I know, and I actually know it's actually worse now than it was, but I had some pretty bad shit happen. I just set off all my fighters. Oops. Where are they? There they are. I was like, they're below me. That's so weird. Anyway. But like I was saying, the transit here just like sucks. So I have to drive a lot, and like it's better to drive on my meds than off of them. But basically because I really didn't have to go anywhere today, but I am going somewhere later, I was like, okay, I should take my meds. But because my body hates everything, I'm on like a lower dose than I probably like need directly. It's just my body can't handle the higher dose. But like my brain wants the higher dose. It's a whole thing. But basically like I tried taking it a little later today. Because I was like, oh, I'm not gonna need it till later. So I took it at like noon instead of like 9, right? And I feel like I'm feeling a little different this way. Like, woo! Not really, but I feel like it's only like a high, like a sort of like, not like a high, but like I only get like these things off of it because like when I'm like not on it for 3 days, I'm like dead inside constantly. It really is better to be able to take your meds the way they were intended, but you know, it is what it is at this point. Maybe. Oh, my hand is dry. I need some hand lotion. That's the other thing. Utah can't make up its mind what season it is. Like, it was like almost 70 degrees Fahrenheit, obviously, yesterday. And then today it's like 30. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. I don't know. It literally said snow for a while. Said it was gonna snow today when it was literally like 65 yesterday. I'm like, what season is it, Utah? What season is it? Leo don't know. It's not spring yet because you still want to snow, but it's also like What is this? 60 degrees, like that it's really hot. Like 60, it's not hot, but 60 is like warm for April. And especially to be given this like whiplash, like, oh my god, what's gonna happen to all like the plants and shit? Like, they're all going to freeze. People are talking about the cherry, we're actually talking about the cherry blossoms in Japan blooming early in some areas. And then like it got real cold all of a sudden. It's like, wow, yikes. That's not fun, but yeah, I feel like for April, for this, for Utah, like what was normal for many years was more like for it to be like probably more around like 40s and 50s in early April, and then like 60s later. I don't know exactly, because it kind of, Utah has always varied, but like in the past it didn't used to be like, oh, like there's random snow in like June, because that has happened. Oh, I know. I don't need to be told why it is. I know why it is. It just like gets me sometimes that like it like screws up the weather to this degree, you know? Like, I was like, people can argue, oh, the natural process is whatever they want, but it's also like, I was like, look, even if it was natural, like, you'd still complain. Like, let's be honest with ourselves here. Like, these people who are like, I don't know, these people who are like, oh, well, but it's natural. I was like, yeah, yet you're still complaining about it. So, like, I don't know. I'm mostly talking about, like, I don't really talk to people who don't believe in, like, who don't believe in any climate change, because, like, it is, like, an irrefutable fact that the climate is changing. And it's just, like, who you want to place the blame on, whatever. But, like, if we cannot agree that the climate is changing, like, we can't be friends. Like, I just can't. I love science, everybody. Oh yeah, I've actually had some recent discussions with some people about nuclear power, because I will be so honest, I don't know a lot about it, and I feel like I should, just to be like informed, because it's like, look, sometimes you can't be informed on absolutely everything, but I like to try to like at least have a like minimal knowledge of things that like are, you know, really important, like, you know, alternate power sources and such. So I know like a fair amount about like electric stuff and electric vehicles, and how technically like a lot of electric vehicles, because we don't really have like recycling or anything for that, like electric cars, like while they're better for emissions, they're not necessarily better like overall. Like, you know, we basically it's like we shouldn't stop innovating just because, oh, we have electric cars now, you know. It's like, and I feel like really that's ultimately what we can take from things. It's like we should be looking to advance society constantly, not like stop because, oh, we have this now, it must be all cured. Like, no, like it is a, like, I mean, even like in Star Trek, they're like, okay, you know, 400 years from now, we're still trying to make progress. Like, you know, we're always trying to better humanity, but some people will watch Star Trek and miss the point. But anyway, now see, like, well, because that's the thing, is like, if you take it, ultimately it's like I think a lot of the problem is just that some people like, well, because I know people, now I'm sometimes really bad at like forgetting to do things like turn off lights, right? Like, I try my best and I still fuck up sometimes, but I know people who like don't, like, whenever they're at home, they will turn on all the lights and run that all the time when they're home. And it's like, now granted, that's not the key issue here, right? But it's like, it's a mentality of people overall that kind of like, I feel like people aren't even willing to begin to make the smallest change regarding their consumption. And not to say that consumers should be blamed. Consumers should not have the majority of the blame. But I do think that what would help, like, try to hold corporations accountable for the harm that they do to our environment might be a little, like, we might get more people on that train if people could somehow, like, I don't know, even just, like, think about it a little bit. Like, it's like, look, if you're not in the room, maybe you don't need the lights. Like, if you're not going back to that room soon. Like I said, I know, like, I forget about it. I'm not talking about forgetting about it. I'm talking about there are people I know who will constantly, consciously turn on all the lights in the house just because they're home. I'm like, in a house? Like, I'm not talking about apartment people. I'm talking about house people. Like, I mean, if you do that, they're just gonna toss it out. Like, that's the thing, is you have to make it harder for the companies to ignore you. And one of the ways that we can do that is by, like, you know, having a little bit more consciousness as a society. But that's like a huge ask, you know? Like, it's like, you can't get people to do the bare minimum. You're never gonna get people to agree on the environment, you know? But yeah, it's like, because I used to think, like, oh, but the nuclear power and the disasters and everything else. But again, I've had some more like recent discussions about, like, nuclear power. And I'm not saying, like, I don't think nuclear power is, like, you know, perfect or anything. But, like, in learning more about it, I'm like, look at the amount of damage that coal has, like, done to the environment that can be proven, can be traced, etc. It's like, you know, yeah, one is, like, radioactive waste, and that is an issue, and I'm not saying we should work on that stuff, but it's also like, you know, but you know, because you don't just have coal, you have the microplastics, you have this and that, and it's like, you are adding up to, like, what, I don't know, you get to a point where it's kind of like, you do kind of get a lesser of two evils kind of thing going on. And I feel like instead of being afraid of it, you know, look at those solutions and be like, what could we do to solve this problem, you know? Oh, and we're done. What will we do with the end products? Oh, do you mean, we're talking about nuclear power, right? Also, if we were using nuclear power, we could figure out more effective ways to optimize. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is it was like, if you are fearing something just because again, I was like, we should be more afraid of fossil fuels than we are, and we are not. Like, it's just like one of those things. Oh my god, they're like, destroy the Borg cube, and it's the assimilator. This is so funny. Anyway. Yeah, it's just like, I feel like if you're, well, because it's kind of like, okay. So near my area, there is actually wind power, which for some reason, like, in Utah is actually, like, really surprising to me because, like, I mean, it's Utah. Like, Utah hates anything that's like I have heard, like one of the common opinions in Utah, not like mainstream opinions, but like common enough that it's a problem in Utah, is like that, like, alternate power sources are like part of a woke agenda. And I'm like, we're really gonna call alternate power sources woke now? Like, what? Anyway, deep breaths. Okay, wait, what do I want? Do I want a maintenance drone? Okay, do we think, okay, so for Sky, do we think we want to, oh, neurosuppressant? Now that sounds fun. Heavy force plasma bolt. Oh, no, I want the shield neutralizer. Hell yeah.
Congratulations, Captain.
Well, that's the thing too, is I was like, you're mad at these windmills when, like, that's been a thing for years. That's not like a brand new concept. It's just that, again, with advancements in science, we have made great things. And a lot of like, there's a lot of power that is pulled from like the wind because they've placed it. I mean, we have a lot of mountains, so they're able to place it in like these canyons. Oh, sorry. I think like there's always like an indeterminate like lag on some of my streams, so I think some of it there might be a little bit of lag. That's kind of confusing the chat, but because my bitrate's pretty consistent, but I'm seeing it go like this up and down a lot, which it shouldn't be doing. But anyway, basically like these, I don't know, it's like basically people are just afraid of anything that is different in terms of what the fuck people are doing. Like, I can't pretend that I understand it, because it's like, to me, like, the reality is, it's like, I grew up my entire life thinking like there's something off about me, right? Like, you know, turns out like I might have been right, depending on how you look at it. Like me getting diagnosed with all of my mental problems, almost all of my mental problems as an adult. But
thank you.
Tuvok, our man.
To me as well. The majority of the
let's fucking go. Anyway. But like I was saying, no, absolutely, they are kind of, they all don't really have critical thinking skills. And it's because the thing is, it's like some of the people like I interact with in Utah, it's like, because like Utah does have more diversity than people realize. It's that a lot of people are like, oh, there's no queer people in Utah. It's because most queer people in Utah are closeted. Like, arguably, I would argue most of them are, most are closeted. Like, there are more people that are closeted who have not, like, talked about being queer, like, ever, than there are, like, the people that are out. And I think that's a lot of why the dating pool is small for queer people. Now, it just kind of depends on where you go, because different areas have different populations. But it's like, again, where I don't live in the city type thing, it's like, yeah. And then the other problem too is that you have, since what's brought up, Utah Mormons, and I feel like every time I'm on stream these days, Mormons get brought up, and I just like to put out my disclaimer. I do feel like I have an authority to talk about the subject because I used to be Mormon, but one of the things that I see happen a lot is that people will leave Mormonism, but they won't like leave Mormonism. Like, they will still, they will be like, you know, they could be some other type of Christian, they could be a full-on atheist. Like, it really doesn't matter. There are people who will leave the church but not let go of the toxic thought patterns. And I was like, okay, but the thing is, like, the ultimate thing that was the problem with the Mormon church, like, the thing that was like the problem with the Mormon church is not actually like, I mean, there's some stuff that they teach that's like not okay, right? But like, the thing is, the like, you know, magical stuff that they have, that's generally not the core problem.
And we believe we may have discovered a vulnerability.
That is acceptable. God. Things that Sky would never say IRL. Anyway, but it's like it's like they leave, but they don't let go of the part that's like the actual problem. Like, and by that I mean like the judgment, the superiority complexes, like the misogyny. That's a big one. I know so many atheists who are like, I'm an ex-Mormon, but then they like go on to say like the most like woman-hating shit ever, and it's a serious problem. And it's why it's like, I can't assume that I can trust. It's why I kind of like, because for a while, like after I first kind of like left the church, I was very much like, I can't hang out with Mormons like for an extended period. Like around like midway through my college thing, I was very like, okay, I'm gonna watch the cutscene. These must be more Iconian frauds. Pew pew. Well, of course they are. That's what they do.
Captain Send Simmons to...
But basically it's like, I can't remember what I was saying. We were talking about the atheists and the woman hating. Oh yeah, okay. So like halfway through my college days, I kind of like college years, not college days, but like halfway through my college years, I will admit that like I was like a very like I feel like I'm still kind of jaded from being chronically ill. That has made me very jaded, but I feel like for a while, not fucking him again.
The Borg attack.
Bye. I don't want to talk to you. Anyway. But I feel like there was a time where I was like bitter enough that like I was probably a little bit mean to some people who genuinely didn't mean any harm. Like I'm not talking about like the raging homophobes, etc. But it's like I feel like for a while there was kind of like there was a time in my life that I was like not, when I was younger, that I was not like that I was very much like, you know, if you're a Mormon, like I don't want to associate with you because I am like, everybody who's in this is upholding all this stuff. But then when I started to kind of change and realize that most Mormons are genuinely victims, now that doesn't give people a free pass. There's a like, if you're a raging homophobe, I could not care fucking less. Like, fuck off, don't speak to me, like, go away. Like, maybe try not being like that, but also it's like, I'm not gonna stick around to, you know, assist with that. But at the same time, there's also people who are like, you know, they're there because they like having the community and they're afraid to not have that community. And like, that's something they can like, you know, reflect on. And it's like, and I'm not saying like all of them are like, they are gonna leave. Because I have friends who like probably will not ever leave the Mormon church, but I don't ever get like hate from them because it's like, I don't know, maybe they actually like read the Bible and read that part that said love thy neighbor. I don't know. Like I have a lot of thoughts about people like cherry picking the Bible too, like
it's enormous.
Because like that's a huge problem in general, like American evangelicals. But with Mormons it's like a special kind of it because like they have like their own scripture that literally like is just a cherry pick of the Bible. It's wild. Like, I don't know, Mormonism stream when, like, if you don't know about it, like, I don't know. I would have to be in a really good mood to do that one, and I'm not in a good mood, like, a truly good mood often these days, so, but yeah, it's just like there's a lot of things, like, that go into it besides just, like, the doctrine people are following, because, like I said, people will leave and then they won't actually like they are out. Like they're not like 1 foot out the door. They have completely left the church, but they are still the same toxic human that they were, and they're not reflecting on that. They're not unlearning those behaviors, and they're still fucking racist, misogynist, etc. It is really, really sad to see sometimes because it's like, you know, I want to support people in their healing journey, but it's just like I just don't want to be around that kind of energy. Like that's like something like there are plenty of resources in this day and age to like, I don't know. I honestly feel like sometimes like all the like cis men need to have like a support group where like they just like, you know, kind of can talk to each other instead of like making it like trying to make it a woman's problem that men have. I don't know. I've thought that for a long time. It's like I wish just like there could be like less, like I don't know. I feel like I feel like it's kind of on like male friendships and positive like male friendship representation to kind of fight the problem of toxic masculinity. Oh my god, that reminds me of when I saw this post the other day on Tumblr about Bashir and O'Brien and Kalmini was actually saying like oh, you know, it could have totally been romantic and that would have been cool. He was actually quoted as saying that, I guess at some point. I don't know where or when, I don't know. But he said that at some point, and I was like, you know, like, I wouldn't have even been mad if that happened, but also because like I'm a Garashir truther. I'm also like, I love that about Bashir and O'Brien's relationship, because like they genuinely do love each other, and like that's something that like I feel like doesn't really exist in like male friendships in a lot of like religious circles, and I think that's a big part of the problem, and I think that's why they're so threatened by like I think that's why they feel so threatened by like the queer community. Well, I mean, I'm sure he would. I'm sure that he would have. But also Deep Space Nine is so amazing because he had the least influence on it. Now look, okay, I used to not like Keiko back in the day because I feel like I used to think like I kind of used to, and I feel like this was a little bit wrong of me, but I used to kind of feel like because she was very much like on Deep Space Nine especially, she was really like, she really kind of, after she got married, she kind of became like the housewife type thing. Like she had her own stuff, but like her her job was always treated as like a side thing, in my opinion, a little bit, and I didn't really love that. But at the same time, I was like, you know, watching it again as an adult, because this was when I was a teenager and was like very much in my like, I didn't really understand the big picture type things. I was like, okay, look, there's technically nothing wrong with being a housewife. There are some things with Keiko and O'Brien that I don't love, but it's like generally there's nothing wrong with her wanting to do that. And it's like in this age where there's not capitalism to worry about, honestly, like I don't think the way that Keiko's stuff is treated, like I wish that it was treated as more of like I'm sorry, her thing was treated a little bit better later.
The spread of the Borg next to the Borg in fluidic space.
But I just feel like I just feel like her contributions were kind of downplayed at times, and I wish they weren't. I want to grab some ore. Hell yeah. I wish they weren't downplayed, but I also, it's like, again, she's not my favorite character either, but I did have a different perspective on her like later. Like, but it took like several times of watching it through to be like, I don't hate Keiko actually. I think I just don't like, I think I'm just salty at like the current time, but they are trying to portray something like, and whether or not it worked is, you know, everybody can form their own opinion, but, I don't know, I try not to be a hater sometimes. Sometimes. Oh yeah, let's upgrade my cannons since I have those on my build already. But I was actually gonna say though, honestly, oh god, not New Romulus. I have to do that one when my brain's a little bit more on the task and not off the task. But oh my god, no, not the not this. Can you fucking imagine? Can you fucking imagine if she like sang a little song, if the Pawraith sang a little song in Keiko's body? Oh no. Look, okay, look, I don't hate New Romulus. I like that New Romulus brought us some like really cool creatures, but I also like on principle don't like I see some room for very obvious easy improvement, like the way the missions are separated and stuff. Anyway, we all know what I'm talking about. But I was going to say, yeah, we got Blob Squid and Epos. Like, what more could you want? And I like the design of New Romulus. I just don't like the way the missions are set up, obviously. And I'm gonna have to get offline in a bit here, but I was gonna say, like, my take on the O'Brien situation is that, like, we should just all like live for the O'Brien polycule, which includes like Miles and Keiko, but it also includes Bashir and Garrick and Kira and whatever dude Kira wants to have on the side. I'm just Odo is Kira's dude on the side, confirmed. No, that's another thing is I don't dislike Odo. Like, I think he's a well-written character, but like, I feel like if I met Odo, I feel like I would hate him, you know? Like, not even because, like, he's the worst ever. Like, there's clearly way worse people on Deep Space Nine, but he's just like the definition of, like, a fucking, like, nasty cop. Like, he and I do appreciate that they tried to kind of, like, try to hold him accountable for some of his copness, but then, like, by the end of the thing, he still goes back, like, and I get, like, oh, he had to cure him, whatever else, but it's like, he still went back to the Dominion at the end, and, like, because, remember, I consider Star Trek Online canon in my heart, but technically it's not canon, so I was like, without, like, some of the stuff of the Dominion, like, trying to do better in Star Trek Online, it's like, that ending to me was really not satisfying at all. I was like, I wish he would have not gone back with them, but I also was like, the relationship with Kira was also a little weird, so, you know? I don't know, I'm not a Kira Odo hater like some people, but, like, okay, you know what? You know what's really great, though, and I've realized over time is great? Quark and Odo, like, I'm sorry, they should have just let them be. Like, that would have been the most perfect enemies to lovers sort of arc. I would have forgiven Odo for being a cop if Quoto was real. Oh no. Anyway. Yeah, I would say the O'Brien polycule would basically be everybody, but I like, there's a few exceptions, but I figure O'Brien harbors some resentment towards Garrick because he's a Cardassian. Yeah, he's kind of like, O'Brien's like healing. They made O'Brien suffer so much over the course of Deep Space Nine, yet, somehow they also, like, I actually wish they would have done more episodes making him suffer, and more episodes where they actually focused on him actually having to heal his prejudice of Cardassians, because we saw a little bit of it, like, earlier on, and then it kind of, like, was forgotten about, and yet he still was very on edge around Garrick. And now, granted, I'm not saying he's wrong for being on edge around Garrick, because, like, Garrick has done some shady shit, and, like, rightfully so. I feel like he is allowed to be a little bit suspicious of Garrick. However, some of the suspicion is warranted, and other suspicion is because he's a Cardassian, which the one's because he's a Cardassian is the one that's maybe not so right, and I wish they would have kind of reflected on that, because obviously, like, because that's the thing is, like, even though, like, you know, Garashir is great, I also feel like that's a very long journey to Bashir being able to trust Garrick in any way, shape, or form, and so I wish, like, they would have, there's just a lot of things in Deep Space Nine, as great of a show as it is, like, sometimes it's like, I wish that the questionable episodes would have been, like, replaced with things that I wish would have happened, you know? And, like, obviously I'm not saying, I don't think they should make a remake or anything, because honestly, like, I think if they tried to make a remake, I think, like, some of the stuff that they put in that was so cleverly done would kind of be toned down today's day and age, because honestly, it's like, you know, we're supposed to be getting away from censorship, and yet for some reason we're having more. Like, God, Garrick was not a very good operative. It's really funny, he has that in common with one of my original characters that well, from this character, I forgot we were on her tune for a second. So no, that's actually something that I took some inspiration from Garrick for Sky's, like, intelligence side, because, like, the thing is, okay, I'm just gonna say it at this point, because I've confirmed that, like, most people who play with my games are not watching my streams, and if they do someday, this will be, like, long over, right? So my tabletop RPG character has been undercover for over 6 months of near weekly play. 6 months, and no one, like, she has done absolutely, like, she has not changed her personality whatsoever. Now, granted, they don't know the original character, so that's okay, but it's like, she will go, I have started going like full on insane with her. I've just been like, she went during like a time where they had like a naked time-esque virus going around. She went to sickbay, crushed up the first pill she could find, and then snorted them. Everyone was like, that's our girl. Oh my god. Like, even thinking about it now just like makes me lose my mind. I was like, there wasn't even like any real sympathy for the fact that I was like, hey, I just revealed to you that this character used to be a drug addict. Like, what? We're just gonna roll with that? Anyway, they're like, oh yeah, that's just our friend there. And then it gets worse because like, this bitch could be like hacking into a database and wandering around the ship suspiciously at all hours of the day, only sleeping once a week, which has been confirmed. Like, I have strongly said, because she's a homebrew species too, so I was like, I've strongly said, like, multiple times, like, I've been very clear, like, hey, that's not normal for her species. They're actually pretty, like, biologically similar to humans. They require the sleep, even more so, actually, because, like, they live longer and they like need the to keep up their health stuff more so that they don't have the more effects of aging, etc. And she's walking around with like dark circles under her eyes, like none of this is suspicious. They're like, oh, that's our pal. I'm like, you know what, as revenge, I should just be like, hey GM, can I like carry out like a secret mission and try to assassinate one of them? But I wouldn't, because like, that's the thing, is the whole thing that's funny about it is that she's undercover, but like her plan is actually not to kill anyone or anything really suspicious. It's like, she's literally gonna take down some people from the inside, if you know what I'm saying. But no, it's like, so she's really like not very good at being undercover, and that's why I was like, it's a little bit like Garrick. Oh hey, here's an old pic of her vibing with Sloane. Literally, okay, granted, I think she would hate Sloane. I think he would be the type that she would be like, nah, you need to go. I was just talking about how Section 31 is so interesting, like, in the Deep Space Nine era, because of how scattered it is. And like, I believe in my head, I was like, because they all thought, some of them really thought it began and ended with Sloane. I was like, no, I just think Sloane's an extremist. That like, okay, yeah, like, you still have all these others separate, like, scattered around. I'm sure you have little groups. I'm sure, like, oh my god, I'm sure, like, if there's any, like, you know, secret, like, stealthy Section 31 ships, I'm sure, like, the drama on those ships is, like, insane. Absolutely insane. Like, I almost want to write a fic about it, but I'm also like, I really need to stop with Section 31 right now, because I have so many theories. And I need to wait, because we're getting the movie, we're getting whatever else. Garrick needs to walk a tightrope. He needs to be constantly portraying he's a shady character who's hiding something, but also he's a top operative. Yeah, basically it's like he's like so, he's just he's just so interesting, because he's like, he is just a walking contradiction at all times, and on top of it, he's just vibing in his shop like, I'm tailoring, everybody. Like, what a character. Just, oh my god. TTRPG, a Section 31 ship in the late 2380s. Well, I will say, I don't know, because technically I haven't really, you know what, I don't fucking care anymore, like, at this point, it's like, I'm just waiting for, I'm waiting for somebody to at least, like, figure out who she is and try to, like, maybe, like, help with the plan, because I think that, like, if it does, it would be, like, so funny. And again, I got GM permission from this. We have a rotating schedule of GMs, but the original GM approved this entire plan start to finish. It's just that the one caveat was the players have to figure it out for themselves. And this GM's also told me, like, why don't you just pick a time to blow the cover and then just, like, go on with it and just tell them your plan? I'm like, no! That doesn't make it fun! Like, that that's not fun at all. Like, I want them to work for it. It's like, I haven't made it hard. I want them to have to work for the information, like we originally discussed, and I also, like, really just want, like, I don't want it to be, like, again, like, I as a player don't want it to be, like, planned, because then it doesn't feel, like, authentic, you know? I want it to be something where, like, if she blows her cover, it has to be because she is in a situation that is dramatic enough and enough lives are at stake that she decides that her personal, vibes and well-being are not as important as saving whatever is going on. That's the kind of thing, because it's like, look, I don't think it's gonna go well for her. There are a couple key characters who are so wild, like they might toss her out the airlock. They probably won't, but it's like it's just like, I'm like, look, because that's the thing, is I was like, she's not supposed to be like a saboteur or anything. She's just there looking for some information. Like, she's there because it's like, because when she's not undercover, she's way too prominent of an individual to get away with sneaking around and shit. Like, when she's like, as like a commander, it's like she's not getting away with shit, right? Like, she's getting away with whatever Starfleet Command, because there's absolutely somebody in Starfleet Command that is complicit with you know, the underground operations. But it's like, she's basically like, she's limited, but it's like, you know, no one's going to suspect a random ensign on the lower decks. So that's why it works. And it's like, but at the same time, it's like, you know, at what cost? Because she's a little bit not enough suspicious. Anyway, which is really funny, because last night I literally was like, I have never lied so much as, like, I lie a lot as a GM, obviously, but it's like, I also lie a lot as this character, but lying in character is different than lying in real life. I told so many lies last night, to try to intentionally mislead the players. It was so wild, because I'm GMing now the prequel of our main ship campaign, in which the non-undercover of the, basically where Janelle Sky is featured in her full glory. This tune is featured, like, fully there, and I started describing the commander, and we ended up using the mini for my other character. And I was like, oh, we're just gonna use her mini because I don't have any other miniatures. And I still don't have a matching set. They're all really, like, mismatched, just different random 3D print files I found. But it's like, she, it's like, oh, we're just gonna use her miniature, hee hee. And they're like, oh, wait, no, she's our commander? I thought she was, I was like, oh, thank you for following, welcome to the club. I was like, oh, she's gonna be our commander? I was like, no, like, obviously, she's an ensign on your ship, like, 4 years from now. What you talking about? And just, like, the amount of gaslighting that's going on here, like, I might be a little bit of a terrible person, like, but I also think it's a little bit funny. I've also got, like, some wild house rules. Maybe as it goes on, if y'all are interested in hearing about some of the house rules I implemented for my Star Trek Adventures campaign, some of them are wild. Welcome in. I'm about to wrap up. I'm just finishing my story from my Star Trek Adventures campaign, just my TTRPG group. Last night was the kickoff for my new campaign, which is like a prequel to our other campaign. Stop with the gaslighting. We have LEDs now. Yeah, I'll wave LEDs at them whenever I'm telling them a lie instead. No, because I think it's gonna be really fun, because I have a very different GM style than all of our other GMs, and I love GMing for our ship, but I also, like, this has been an idea in my head ever since the original GM told me, because I said, I was like, I can bring 2 characters. I was like, I have 2 character options, basically. I made up 2 characters. I was like, here's, like, a totally normal officer, but, like, it was a Vulcan Andorian hybrid, I didn't really completely flesh that one out yet, but I was like, okay, I can either build off of this one, or I can take this character from this web series I've been writing for a while that failed, and now I use her in a bunch of, like, Star Trek things. And he was like, no, you should bring the fleshed out, like, character that is your pride and joy. And I was like, yeah, sure about that? Yet again, much of this table, like, is Mormon. And I was like, this is not a character that is, like, chill with the Mormons. Like, this is a very, like, wild character. And I'm respectful, and I respect people's boundaries. So she's toned down a little bit. Like, she doesn't hit on everyone like she does in some of her other stories. Because, I mean, consent is a thing, too. Like, you know, we want to be respectful to people. Yeah, he was like, no, you should bring that one, because that's, like, really interesting. The homebrew species is really cool. So I typed up all the mechanics for the species. I made it all. This was really before I even knew the STA system. And I typed up all the mechanics. I did a whole species sheet. I did a lot of hard work for it. And then, yeah, it's like, I kind of just, from there, it was kind of like, the undercover thing started happening. I was like, okay, this is really fun. And then we went with that. And then now it's been, again, like, I thought that somebody was gonna clue in by now. I really did. I really, really did. But I think it'll be funnier the longer it goes on. But I'm sad because, like, I wrote an entire song that is a character song for the original character. And I haven't put it out yet. It's gonna be on Spotify sometime this month or next. But it was like, I did all this work on the song, and then I was like, wait a minute. This really puts some inconsistencies in with the age that I told them that my character was, because I'm telling them this is my character's, like, song, but it's not her song, and I have to be really careful not to slip up, and I'm really bad at it, and one of these days I'm gonna blab it, because I've already blabbed it to the entire GM team, despite saying, I was like, no, this is gonna be just between me and the other one, but then, like, somebody decided to involve time travel, and I kind of felt like it was only fair that I gave this other GM a little bit of information. So now all the GMs have different information, and I'm like, don't blab things. Like, I had to say, I was like, I know I blabbed a lot about this campaign over the past 6 months I've been planning it, but I'm like, please, if you know something that I told you, like, be a good sport and don't just blab it out. Like, you know, wait for, like, the dramatic moment to be like, maybe this is happening. Because, again, I don't even remember what I told people, but I know I said, I was like, I'm thinking of this idea, and this idea, and this idea, and they ended up in the episodes, but I'm also, God, writing entirely homebrew is really fun, but also, like, really exhausting, but I also like really making it personal to every player. Oh my God, I made y'all know that meme where it's like when everyone decides to keep their characters a secret until session 1, and it's like Bard 1, Bard 2, Bard 3. I really thought that was gonna be that, but with, like, people making, like, the stereotypical red shirt type characters, super eager, like ensign or even crewman, and just, like, wandering around in security. I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, I'm gonna send you over to someone else. I don't know who's online. I gotta go get ready for my tonight adventures. I'm hanging out with my Star Trek people again, but not for tabletop this time, unfortunately. Just dinner. But anyway, thank you so much everyone for watching. You can check out my other links in my panel description things below. I will be updating them sooner rather than later, sometime this month. It's just on my list of things to do that I haven't gotten done. I have videos unedited, stuff like that. But yeah, super excited for that. I hope everyone's excited for the new channel intro I filmed with the Dr. McCoy mention. It's gonna be really fun. Sky proceeds to prepare Andorian Gorm pudding. What? You know what? We're done. I'm done for today. Bye everybody. See you next time for more Sky shenanigans. Probably next Friday, maybe not. We'll see. Okay, bye. Stick around for the raid.